Shall we pray? Lord, we thank you for this day and all the blessings that you bestowed upon us. Lord, we pray that you would be with us tonight as we meet as a town, that you would give us the wisdom and the courage to make the right decisions to further the cause of the citizens of Fort Gibson. Lord, we thank you for your unconditional love that you show us every day. Most of all, we thank you for your son, Jesus. In his name we pray. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'd like to call to order the regular meeting of the Board of Trustees of the Town of Fort Gibson, Monday, April 13th, 2026, at 6:01 p.m. Roll call, please.
Nancy Reinhardt.
Here.
Bob Boatman.
Here.
Gary Harris.
Here.
Steve Lincolnbeard.
Here.
Mike Sharp.
Here. Item number 1, visitors' remarks or comments. Seeing none, we're going to move on to item number 2. Item number 2, consent agenda.
I'll move to approve the consent agenda as presented.
I'll make a motion.
You second it?
Yeah, second motion.
Let it be noted for the record, Jerry made the motion to approve the consent agenda. Bob seconded that one. Roll call, please.
Nancy Reinhardt.
Aye.
Bob Boatman.
Aye.
Jerry Harris.
Aye.
Steve Lincolnbeard.
Aye.
Mike Sharp.
Aye. Item number 3, items of business for discussion, decision, and/or take action. Item A, discussion, decision, and/or take action regarding items removed from the consent agenda. There were none. Item B, discussion, decision, and/or take action regarding Gil McLaughlin's agenda request regarding deed restrictions on commercial property within the town, Fort Gibson town limits. Okay, so we need you to state your name and address for the record, please.
Yeah, Gil McLaughlin. I'm here to discuss all the parcels in the city of Fort Gibson limits, including land, commercial, everything that falls within the city of Fort Gibson. If we're going to allow, when anybody sells a commercial building, land only, whatever it is, if we're going to allow deed restrictions in the city of Fort Gibson. Meaning, if I own Charlie's Chicken and I go to sell it to whoever, for an example, they only can buy it if they don't do this, that at that location. And to me, when you allow deed restrictions inside the city, which is common in the county, but to me, when you allow deed restrictions in the city of Fort Gibson, you're really kind of, my opinion, at risk. Guys can come in and raise money and start buying everything up, and then, for lack of better words, can maybe monopolize that space. And I think that the city of Fort Gibson should consider not allowing deed restrictions within the city of Fort Gibson limits.
Gil, do we have any of these now inside the city?
No, but there's a few properties that are up for sale, that are coming up for sale, that I'm not gonna just lay it all out in front of everybody. But, there's some investors that are interested in getting rid of a few eyesores in town. They're bad. If I told you the properties, you would agree. But it's been brought to my attention that on some parcels that I'm interested in buying myself, that if I just decide to buy it, they're going to try to limit what I can do in that space. And I don't feel as if, in the county is one thing, in the city is another. So if I'm in X space, whatever space I'm in the mortgage business, I start selling property and no one can open a mortgage company. And, you know, I don't think it's good business for the city to allow sellers of commercial property to restrict what goes in that site.
Gil, I got a question for you. What's the difference in deed restrictions and zoning?
Well, zoning, you know, there's no zoning in the county.
Well, right,
So,
but we have
Um,
it here in Fort Gibson, I'm pretty sure. You know, you can't put that over there because of this over here. What's the difference in that and deed restriction?
well, deed restrictions is simply, if I understand the question right, Bob, deed restrictions are if I decide, like, let's go for Lowe's in Muskogee.
Mhm.
That parcel in front of Lowe's has been vacant forever, right beside Brahms.
Right.
Lowe's has such huge deed restrictions and what they will allow go there. That's why I hadn't sold. Okay. And there's a big commercial property in Fort Gibson that is going to be the same way.
Yeah.
And it's not good for
Would a
the,
big company, and I'm not for big companies or small company, but would a big company moving in here look at, can we get deed restrictions to keep so-and-so Atwell's from moving next to Lowe's?
absolutely, that's my whole point.
Okay.
If the town's going to allow it to happen, it's not something I think would be a good idea for the city of Fort Gibson.
Our attorney might be able to answer this better, but I don't know that the town can restrict the seller of their property.
But you have a constitutional issue there, because if you own property, if they restrict it, then it takes away part of your right as ownership, the use of your property. I'm not saying it can't be done, I would have to research that, but as it is now, we don't have restrictions against we don't have an ordinance against land restrictions or property restrictions. But I know that, like Mr. McLaughlin has said, there's lots and lots of that in cities that go on. So I see what his dilemma is, but I would have to research it to see if it's constitutional. What we're doing is we're doing it inverse, you know, because right now you can do deed restrictions. There's nothing against it. And what he's asking us to do is to do an ordinance preventing deed restrictions. So that's the constitutional issue that concerns me. Whether you can limit someone's use, you can limit someone's ability to limit use of their property.
If not, you'll have some investors just come and just start buying up the town.
And that's true.
Well,
And-
that brings
and
the
restricted.
issue of the marijuana grows that are in the county, and now you're seeing sellers say, hey, this place is available for purchase, but you can't do a marijuana grow.
Correct.
That's deed restriction, right?
Correct. And or, Steve, I'll sell you, I've got a house in 20 acres. I'll sell you 15 acres of it, but you only can break it up in 7.5 acre parcels at the, you know, I'm gonna restrict on how many times you can break it up. That's the
Of
difference in
course it goes-
restrictions and zoning.
Yeah, of course
So
it
the
goes back.
zoning is, you know, every town's got the zoning
Right.
where it's commercial or it's this, we'll allow this at this location. But to actually allow, you know, a deed restriction on commercial property, I mean,
Of course, I would fall back that if the seller's doing that, then to me, it limits the buyers to who's gonna buy his property, which doesn't make sense to me as a seller.
unless you're in that space
Yeah,
and you're restricting that space. You with me?
yeah. Yeah.
So he's in.
I mean, if I
What I'm
got a
talking about,
McDonald's,
they're in the space.
if I got a McDonald's and Burger King wants to buy next door and I own the property, I'm probably McDonald's, I'm not gonna sell it to them.
Correct.
I'm gonna put a deed restriction.
Correct.
Sure, you can buy this Burger King, but you can't build a Burger King.
Correct. It limits. And then if it's just the way it is today, it really isn't attractive for an investor to park money in 74434.
Of course, our zoning ordinance and restrictive covenants in these developments, I mean, they do the same thing to a certain point.
Correct.
I
That's to
mean,
protect
yeah.
the investment,
Right.
you know, your minimum square feet,
That's to protect your
1,600.
neighbor and
Correct.
the
That protects
addition.
everything. The
and
same
all
thing I'm
that.
doing in, you know, Wiley Ridge
Right.
is, you know, I've got covenants in there to protect not only the people that build inside that location, but to protect myself. But I just,
So you could really say these deed that's a seller's covenant.
correct.
I mean, you could really
And,
call
and,
it
and there,
that.
and there's no argument in the county because there's no restrictions at all for the county.
Right.
Just like that 50 acres that butts up behind Carriage Estates, that's all in the county that I own. I can go in there and do anything I want to do. Okay?
Right.
I said I'm going to, but I don't think that should be allowed inside the city of Fort Gibson where you've got huge eyesores and they're never going to be able to be flipped. Or if they do get flipped, it's a limited audience because of what the seller's allowing or not allowing to go on.
I see
that
what you're
location.
saying, but I'm, the reason I referred it to Larry is I don't know that we can restrict the seller.
Yeah, and I'll research it. You know, the classical example that I heard 38 years ago when I was in law school, you've got somebody down here, like, say the Church of Christ, gonna sell an acre right there on the highway. And they're gonna sell it, and the restrictive deed is you can never sell alcohol on this 1 acre. And so that's your restricted deed, and those are legal, but this is the inverse of that. You know, can we as a board establish an ordinance saying you can't restrict your deeds as an owner? And that's what I don't know if we can do or not, because you're restricting it's a property right. You have the ability to use your property the way you see fit as long as for legal purposes.
But if it's no longer your property,
If you do a deed restriction, then you have prevented,
You've restricted the buyer.
you
from
restricted
doing
that
whatever
property for the
from-
rest of its life
yes,
Well, for that one restriction.
for that restriction.
or multiple restrictions.
And it could be,
It could
yes.
be, it could be multiple because if you're going to leave the door open, you can do multiple restrictions on each plat. Multiple.
Well,
It really prevents a town from,
Growing.
you know, it makes sense to me that if the county can do it, why couldn't we as a municipality do it? It's being done in the county.
If the county can do what?
They allow the deed restrictions because they're allowing it now.
Yeah, but he's saying,
there's no zoning or,
In the county.
yeah,
there's no zoning and you can do all the deed restrictions you want.
yeah,
the
he's
county.
saying the county allows it, but he's wanting us not to allow
Not to
it.
allow.
The deed restrictions, in my opinion, I'm no expert in this area, okay? But it potentially limits potential growth.
It does,
Feels like to me.
it's not potential, it does limit growth. You guys we've all got a huge eyesore in this town, several of them.
Yeah.
And who am I not to go buy them up and then limit what Fort Gibson can do? And who can come in?
So is this something you see on the horizon? And that you're interested in buying property? Do you see it being an issue in
Yes,
the
absolutely.
near future?
Absolutely.
Has some of this already been done, to
Excuse
your
me?
knowledge? Has some of the deed restrictions already been done?
No, ma'am, they have not done it.
But it's a potential problem that may be on the near horizon.
Near.
So, I'll go ahead.
Nicole?
How does a person purchase a piece of property? And so now I bought it from you and it's now mine. What I wanna do, if it doesn't align with the zoning, then I come to the planning and zoning. How does the previous person that I purchased this property?
Restrict what you do with it.
Restrict what I do?
And that's
The-
what,
The motivation behind it is if you're in that space
If you're in the same line of
the
business.
same line of business. So
that-
you don't want any competition. So I'm gonna come in and restrict all I can do on every parcel.
But Dollar General could have done the same thing, or Family Dollar, because they're always next door to each other.
They could try.
I mean, everywhere you go, Family Dollar and Dollar General are within a block
And
of each other.
but, same thing as car business. All the car dealers want to be at the same location.
Right.
So, some businesses it helps, some it hurts. And if you knew what I was talking about in detail, you'd be like, wow. Wow.
So as it stands right now, with no ordinance, then the town would allow deed restrictions.
Yes. Right now, anybody you can restrict a deed 5 different ways.
But it's
No
rest-
dog grooming, no alcohol selling, no pool halls. You can restrict it to whatever you want. And to answer Nicole's statement, or Nicole's question, when she says, I buy it and I can't use it, well, when you buy it, whether or
That you
not you're gonna be
yeah.
using
So
it or
that's
not.
restricting the buyers, potential
Well, yeah,
buyers.
but as a potential buyer, you know that going in.
Exactly.
You know it going into
Yeah.
it. My deal is though, is that when that deed restriction is filed, it's filed for life,
That's
It's a
something that
covenant that
can't be-
runs with the land.
Yeah.
for life. And as a city, I don't think you want people making decisions
Well,
what goes on and what doesn't go on in every parcel in this town.
but we have zoning ordinances that the town is able to control what happens here or what happens
Well,
there in town.
It does, but your zoning says that you can have a commercial business down here, okay, on lot
Doesn't
number
say
1.
what kind of commercial
What
business.
Gil's talking about is you can have your commercial business, but a deed restriction said you can't have this type of commercial business on lot 1. So the zoning doesn't help on that.
Correct.
But for my answer tonight, let me look at the constitutionality of it, and that'll give the board time to think about whether they want to do that for a town like.
Or if we
Gibson.
can do.
Yes, yeah, and I'll have an answer for you whether you can or not, and then it'll be up to you 5 to decide
Is,
if
is,
that's beneficial for
is
the
this
town.
an
or
answer you
Gibson.
could have by the next meeting?
Yes.
So we can get this on the next
He's a good
agenda?
attorney, yes.
He's fast.
Because I think this is something we really need to seriously look into and discuss.
Yeah, I was very surprised it hasn't already been discussed.
No?
No disrespect. But I was really surprised that, my first call was to Larry, actually Steve then Larry. And I was like, I'm just feeling my way through this as an investor. And I thought, man, and what's going on, the details behind it all, if we come to a conclusion and we favor that it can't happen, then I pull the trigger on it. It's gonna blow your mind.
Gil, I know you studied this a lot more than any of us have as far as having prohibition against deed restrictions. Have you had the opportunity to check maybe with some other towns or cities that they do have those ordinances? And if so, do you know off the top of your head what?
I think it's my understanding, it's a case by case situation.
Okay.
If you got Lowe's willing to come into Muskogee and do what they're doing, and they want to put a deed restriction on their front parcel, why not? Let them.
Well, are you saying they have to come in front of the board to be
Yeah,
allowed to do it?
It's my understanding that's the way it is in Tahlequah.
So it's a
Okay,
case by
It's a
case
case by
basis.
case basis. If you got a huge investor coming to town that's going to increase sales tax, then we might be a one-off there. If they
Okay.
don't want this type of business in front of them because it's going to limit what they can sell, it makes sense, right?
sure.
So
But-
just
but
like
it-
having a deed restriction be reviewed by the board,
Correct.
something like that where it's case by case.
Case by case. If you got a guy willing to dump millions and millions of dollars in 74434, but they're worried about this being right here, that's a different story. If you got just Johnny out here, that's whatever he's doing, and he don't want no one else doing what he does in this town, and he's gonna limit what goes on at that parcel. It's a lifetime clearance.
Instead of a prohibition, look at whether the board could review any deed restrictions within the town.
Correct, and then I can,
Potentially.
and then what I can do is, I can get it in escrow on a contingency.
You know, let me add, you know, the more you think about these things, the more you think about them. It may be constitutional, because what I hear Gil saying is they're not restricting what someone's gonna do with, I mean, the person that's buying the land is the person that's going to be restricted. And until he buys it, he has no constitutional rights to say, oh, well, they took this away from me. No, he doesn't own any constitutional, doesn't have any constitutional rights, because he doesn't own it.
Post-closing.
Now, you tell Lowe's and Muskogee, you tell Lowe's that, okay, yeah, you can restrict that if you want to. That's what Lowe's is asking to do. Can I restrict it?
Correct.
So that's up to the city to say, yes, you can. Well, nobody has lost their constitutional, their right to have land and use it, because they don't own it yet. If they buy that piece of property, then they know, well, we can't put up a gambling joint there because it's restricted.
Correct.
So,
But contractually, if the buyer has a contract with the seller and comes before the board, on a case-by-case basis, then that buyer does have interest in that seller's property per the contract, per the purchase contract.
Well-
So they both have an interest in that property.
if I'm representing the buyer, I'm gonna make sure my buyer knows what's in that contract, and that deed restriction is gonna be in that contract before they bring that in front of the board. So the way I understand it, the seller would have to bring it before the board before they sign a contract with the buyer. Would you
Correct.
agree with that,
Yeah.
Gil?
Yeah, I would, but if he doesn't, and then I sign a contract with him, and it's in the contract, now what?
Now, repeat that.
If the seller doesn't get clearance,
Doesn't get clearance.
just FISBO for sub-owner, okay?
Comes
Get it-
before the town.
doesn't come before the town. I sign a contract acknowledging that he wants a deed restriction on this parcel.
Right. If you sign that contract, then you've got a deed restriction.
Correct, unless the town can trump it.
Yeah, and what you're saying is you want an ordinance saying, let's forget about all this, because there's not gonna be any deed restrictions in the city limits of Fort Gibson.
I mean, 85 acres where I live in the city.
Mm-hmm. So, I think we know what the issues are.
Yeah.
We
You know,
just need to know what the answer is.
And I own quite a bit of land in the city, and I'm saying you shouldn't allow it.
Right, I understand. So let me continue to look at the constitutionality of it. You all consider, I know this has kind of been sprung on you tonight, as far as the concept, whether we want deed restrictions or we don't want to allow deed restrictions. I'll look on the legal aspect of it to see if you can decide that without any problem, yeah or nay. That's close as I can get you for tonight.
That's close enough.
Works for me.
Yeah.
You want me to come back in next
Yeah.
meeting?
Let's get
That'd be
it.
fine. I'll have it the next
You
meeting.
guys meet
I
every,
move to table this to the next meeting.
okay. Is it
I'll
every 2
second
weeks?
that.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
it'll be 2 weeks from
Second and
tonight.
fourth Monday nights of the month.
Do I need to go sign up again over here, or we good?
No, you don't need to do anything, just show up.
Okay. All right, guys, thanks for your time.
Thank
Thank
you.
All right, see you guys.
Thanks, Gil.
Bob, did you second that?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, let it be noted for the record that Jerry made a motion to table this agenda item to the next meeting, and Bob seconded that motion. Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Nancy Reinhardt.
Aye.
Bob Boatman.
Aye.
Jerry Harris. Steve Lincoln.
Aye.
Mike Sharp.
Aye. Item C, discussion, decision, and/or take action on Dare Hill's agenda request regarding traffic control, speed bumps, and camera signs on town property on Oakmont Street.
Good evening.
Good evening. Sir, will you please state your name and address for the record?
My name is Dare Hill. I live at 1209 Pinehurst Court in Fort Gibson.
Thank you, sir.
I came to you tonight to discuss about the speed bumps that we have in our neighborhood. And I respectfully am asking tonight for you to reconsider our pass that we've done on the speed bumps there. And it's my opinion that the speed bumps in this location, it's not necessary. It's a real inhibited thing for the citizens that live there, the noise that it makes constantly, day and night. And in our area, in a distance of 500 feet, we have 6 signs telling people that there's children playing in the street, are playing, and requesting people to not speed in the area. And I was here 2 years ago asking this same thing. And since then, I've talked to a policeman then and asked them that if there's so much speeding going on in that area, how many speeding tickets have been given in the last year? And his answer was 0, none. And I said, well, if there's that much speeding going on in that neighborhood, you would think the police would know that and would have given some tickets, because I see them parked there all the time. And they travel our area every day, and we appreciate that. But it's time to look at this again. These bumps are not necessary. If you understand, we have a little small community where we are. There's a one way in and one way out. It's not a thorough street. The only people traveling there are vendors and the neighbors that live there and their friends that live there. It's a closed area. It's a very safe area, and I've lived there 19 years now. And by the way, I'm a school teacher. I retired from teaching. I taught elementary kids for 45 years. So I know a little bit about the history of the children and what they're capable of and what they're not. But as I said before, I think it's part of this is a parent problem that they need to keep their kids out of the street. The streets were put there for automobiles to traverse to and from your residence. They weren't put there to be a playground. We have playgrounds in this town. You've invested a lot of money in a great playground downtown, the little skate park you have. And the kids, when I was a kid, I played in my backyard. I played in the side yard. I played in the driveway. But I had enough sense taught by my parents that I stayed out of the street. And if I had to go in the street, if a car came by, I had to have the good sense to get out of the street and stand on the grass. It's not so today. You can drive down the street there at any time. Sometimes you see bicycles laying in the street, tricycles, or little scooters laying in the street. And it needs to stop. We don't need the speed bumps. If I could approach you just for a moment and give you a picture, is that okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay. This is typical of what we have here. There are 6 of these signs and span 100 feet. I'll leave these here. You notice on those pictures, there's also a sign on there that says there's a camera videotaping you as you drive down the street. And I ask you, does the city own video cameras that you videotape the cars going up and down the streets?
I don't think so.
That would have
Not
Do we,
to my
Rob?
knowledge.
Chief Frazier.
No, Rob's saying no.
Now, doorbell cameras on people's houses, that's their business. But to put those signs on your sign, you see that? Those signs, somebody put them on your signs. And if that's legal, then I could put a yard sale sign on your sign. I think you have to agree with that. I don't know who put those there. I hope it wasn't the city.
I don't know of the city having any other signs like that.
In our area, school zones are 20 miles an hour. Our speed limit there where we are is 15 miles an hour. So I can live with that. I can drive faster than that anyway. But I would like to ask you once again to do away with the last remaining speed bump that we have there. I'm going to show you another thing right here. When you leave my house, you go over the speed bumps, it's bump, bump when you go over it. When you come home, it's bump, bump again. I average about leaving the home about 3 times a day. That's 12 bumps every day. You multiply that times 1 year, 12 bumps in 1 year. I've been bumped there 4,380 times. It's been there 2 years though, and I have bumped those 8,760 times. If you don't believe the math, you can do it yourself. That's the way it works out. It's ridiculous when the trash trucks come across. They can't help it. They got to get across those bumps. And when they come across, you hear it every time. When the lawn mowing people come across, you really hear it because they're pulling their trailers and all their equipment. And it's not a bump, bump. It's a crash, crash, crash constantly all day long. I would ask you one more time, let's do away with the speed bumps. Patrol the area more if you want to, if you need to. But personally, I don't think it's needed. I would like for parents to take on the responsibility to keep their kids out of the street. The latest thing I saw was a child coming down the center of the street on a little 1-foot scooter. He looked like he was about 4 years old. He was going down the center of the street. I saw him coming. I pulled over and I stopped. I shouldn't have to because I got the car. I stopped. There was a pickup truck following him. This was just a few days ago. Pickup truck was driving right by that boy. Finally, he stopped the truck, got out of his truck, went over to the kid and said, "Get out of this street." And the kid said, "Why?" And he said, "Get out of the street." And he took the boys by a tricycle, not a tricycle, a scooter. And he went over and laid it over in the grass and said, "Stay over here." See what I'm saying? We shouldn't have to do that. I'll plead with you one more time. I appreciate you letting me speak for you. Only in America can we come up to our parties like you and tell you our problems, speak our opinions. It's because we're free in America to do this. And I'm free to ask you to consider this and like to get rid of the speed bumps once and for all. The signs, those are fine. And they're not attractive, but they're signs. The speed bumps are not necessary.
Sir, do you have, I'm just curious, do you have one speed bump or are there 2 speed
Now
bumps?
there's one on each side of the road.
I mean, it goes
Like
all-
going
it
each
goes all-
direction.
When you go over it, it's bump, front wheels, back wheels.
Yeah, but there's only one speed bump on the road. I think there were 2 at one time when we took one out.
There were 4 at one time.
4, and we took them all out
Yeah.
except for
I
one.
will add to you, the people that spoke about this most, the strongest, that wanted these, they don't go over them. Only the rest of us go over them because they're located in a place where they don't have to go over them. Just us. See what I'm saying? Any questions?
So they're far enough in the addition that they don't have to go over them?
Yes. They're just past their driveway.
I'm assuming they're the parents with the kids. I'm assuming they're the parents of the kids that you're talking about.
The single boy I'm talking about? No, no, that's not them.
I know there's nothing that we can do as far as, restricting how parents read to their kids. I know that's frustrating.
I know that.
I'm 70 and I'm from a time when you knew not to get in the street. So it is frustrating because we all drive on the streets and we've all encountered kids, getting in the streets.
We have parents now encouraging that. I'm sorry, but we do. And it needs to stop. And the speed bumps, personally, I don't think they're needed. And I think it's an impairment on my right for peace and quiet. and to have a true place you can drive in and out without restrictions to me. And because there's no restrictions on the other people, why are you putting them on us? So I think we should just not have any at all. You ever seen a school bus go over a speed bump or ride in a school bus that went over a speed bump? You got a bus full of kids that leave the seats. Because I used to drive the bus. I know what I'm talking about. If you rode the bus, you know what I'm talking about. And that needs to stop. And I appreciate you thinking, giving it clear thinking for me. And that's all I have to say, unless you have any other questions. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Hill. Tony, can you address any of that on the speed bump or? I'm assuming, this is in Southern Oaks, right? Sure.
Yeah. I need you to identify
My name is
yourself.
Justin Stowers. I live at 1208 Oakmont Drive.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, it's been about, what, 2 years since I think those things have been put in there. You guys originally put 4 of them in there, and 3 of them have been taken out. To his comment on where the speed bumps are at, yeah, they are past my house just a little bit. I don't run over them every day. I'd be more than happy to move them back 15 foot, 20 foot, where I can run over them. If that's, I mean, like, if that's the only issue that's really going on. You guys, well, not you guys, the speed bumps had just been repaired about 2 weeks ago. It was removed for a period of about a week. Some bolts was coming up. I called Tony Henry. He sent a crew out, removed them. During that week that those bumps was gone, I called Mr. Frazier or his officers twice with erratic drivers coming down through there. I actually clocked one of them at 55 mile an hour. In order to get from where you turn on Oakmont to in front of my house to go 55 mile an hour, yeah, I mean, that's insane. It's erratic. Um, I do have 3 kids of my own that ride bikes up and down the road. I think there's 15 kids in our neighborhood that are constantly, yeah, on bikes, scooters. You know, I don't know if that's a violation of a town ordinance to let kids ride their bicycles. Uh, Never was when I was growing up. Never was an issue. I lived on a street that's got, speed bumps for many years. It slows people down. That's what they're intended to do. Uh, as far as the signs, you guys kind of, he showed you a picture of some yellow signs talking about a camera being put up. There is a camera there. I put it up. It's on my house, and it is facing directly that way. Last August, I had an $80,000 truck stole out of my driveway. That's why the camera went up. That's why the sign went up. If I need to remove it, I can do that gladly. But to my defense on that, I didn't have a camera at the time my truck was stolen. My neighbor down the way, he caught it. So yeah, I put one up. There is a camera on my house. Yeah.
But you put the sign on, you
Uh,
put the sign
and
on.
and the sign, one of the signs, mind you, it's actually in what would be classified as my yard. Uh,
Let me ask you, did you get any permission before you
I
posted
did
those
not.
signs on the?
I did not. I bought them off Amazon, put them up. There's another one in the neighborhood on down the way. Um, Weirdly enough, when my truck was stolen out of my driveway, there was a band of 5 guys come in. And they raided the whole town of Fort Gibson that night. They actually walked away with my truck, never to be found. Um, there's a sign down there on past my place, on past the corner that goes to Pinehurst. There's a sign down there just like the one that I put up. It says, "Smile, you're on camera with a happy face." Uh, that area was scoped out, obviously. They seen the camera sign, it deterred them from going down into that area. There's no, yeah, all the camera footage that was in there, there was, that truck did not go down there with the band of 5 guys. I mean, I think the sign worked. So yeah, I put one up right there in front of mine. I don't want another $80,000 truck getting stolen out of my driveway. Uh, Not, maybe it will deter them, maybe it won't. But as far as the speed bumps, they're definitely needed. They're appreciated. Uh, You know, every time I've seen an issue with them, I've called Tony. He's been real great to come out, put the bolts back in. This last time they re-epoxied bolts back in, took them out so they could re-drill and grout.
Is the sign,
There's one of them, yes, and then there's another one on my next door neighbor, about 65, 70 yards. And I actually talked to him about putting it up. He said, yeah, go for it.
well, as long as it's off the right of way on your property,
They are attached to the signs that I guess the city put up. I did attach it with a bolt, but they are on what would be
City property.
classified as my property and Seth Yoder's property. I mean, I would just highly encourage you guys to leave them there. It has slowed drivers down. I mean, that's what speed bumps are intended to do. You're gonna bump across them. Yeah, I mean, I live right pretty well in front of them. Trailers go over them. Yeah, you know, it can be annoying at times, but I would rather a little bitty annoyance, you know, a little annoyance actually happen versus, you know, some guy coming through there 55 mile an hour and hitting one of these kids that are all under the age of 13. I mean, if that happens, there's going to be, you know, it would be even a bigger problem. Uh, And as far as, you know, as far as I know, with all these kids, most all these kids in this neighborhood, they're very respectful. They're not just gonna stand in your way. They'll get onto the side of the, you know, the road if a car does come through there. Uh, yeah, I would just recommend leaving them in there. I appreciate it. You know, the reason that I wanted them in there originally was the little boy that I have back here with me today, he was inches away from being hit by a guy that lives back there in on Pinehurst, running through there erratically. He was very close to being hit, and you know, weirdly enough, that guy has to slow down. So it helped. That's about all I got.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Does anybody have a motion on this or a thought?
You wanna, how about a motion to table this and let's look at this thing a little bit? Can we do that?
You make a motion, I'll
Okay.
second it.
I'll make a motion, we just table this till next meeting and have time to take a look at this again and do a little self-investigation.
I'll second it.
Let it be noted for the record that Bob made the motion to table 3C for the next meeting. Nancy seconded that motion for us to take time to think about this and discuss it at the next meeting. Any further discussion?
No, sir.
Roll call?
Aye.
Jerry Harris, Steve Lincoln,
Aye.
Mike Sharp,
Aye. Item D, discussion, decision, and/or take action regarding the change order in amount of $63.03 to AK Roofing and Construction for extra floor prep.
this is simply just, we had $90,000 to spend for the building. um, And on the leveler right there, it says price is $80 a value. So that we determined it, there was a $63.03 change order for that. And it brought it to total up to the 90,000, so it did not exceed what we had allotted back here.
Make a motion to approve 3D as presented.
I'll second it.
Let it be noted for the record, Stephen made the motion to approve 3D as presented. Nancy seconded that motion. Is there any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Nancy Ryan,
Aye.
Bob Bell,
Aye.
Jerry Harris, Steve Lincoln,
Aye.
Mike Sharp,
Aye. Item number E.
Isn't that the same thing?
On the back page. Huh?
You got the same
Back
thing.
page.
sure is.
Item E, discussion, decision, and/or take action regarding supplemental claims register in the amount of $63. Yeah, it does look like the same.
Is it the same thing?
Yeah.
Looks like
Well, it doesn't read the same.
no, it doesn't look the same.
Doesn't read the same. Okay, item E, discussion, decision, and/or take action regarding supplemental claims register in the amount of $63.03 to AK Roofing and Construction.
So she can cut the checks and fill it
Make a motion, we approve 3E.
I'll second.
Record that Stephen made the motion to approve 3E as presented. Nancy seconded that motion. Is there any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Nancy Ryan.
Aye.
Bob Evans.
Aye.
Jerry Harris. Steve Lincoln. Mike Sharp.
Aye. Item F, discussion, decision, and/or take action regarding the supplemental claims register in the amount of $698.14 for AT&T at the police department. Roll.
That's a PO for,
Is it internet? Is it what's-
it's the internet utility.
Okay.
Yes.
Make a motion, we approve 3F.
Let it be noted for the record that Stephen made the motion to approve 3F as presented. Jerry seconded that motion. Is there any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Nancy Reinhardt.
Aye.
Bob Evans.
Aye.
Jerry Harris. Steve Lincoln.
Aye.
Mike Sharp.
Aye. Item G, discussion, decision, and/or take action regarding the supplemental claims register in the amount of $283.78 AT&T MIFI. Okay, Angie.
I'll second.
Second that motion, is there any further discussion? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Nancy Reinhardt. Bob Evans. Jerry Harris. Steve Lincoln.
Aye.
Mike Sharp.
Aye. Item H, discussion, decision, and/or take action regarding the appointment of Justin Stout as alternate judge.
Are we losing an alternate judge or is this
Dan
extra?
Medlock has resigned.
Okay.
And I've got his resignation paper somewhere. But anyway, he has resigned and he is practicing in Tulsa now. And so we do need a new alternate judge. And I believe that Justin Stout, I believe he's Muskogea's alternate judge. And he is very competent attorney. When I go to court with him on the other side, I have to be prepared. So that's a compliment. Some attorneys you don't. But anyway, Justin is really wise and competent, and he's very respected and professional. And I would recommend him for this spot. I talked to Heidi, and we tried to think of anyone else that might be listed with him. And we called Justin, and he said he would be pleased to do this for us. They don't really, it's maybe what, once every month or two, not even, probably once a 2 months, 3 months. When we gotta have it, we gotta have it. So he said he would be willing to do it. I would advise the board, it's a wise choice.
And excuse me, for the same pay that we're all getting.
Yes. Yep.
I'll just make a motion, we pass 3H as presented. Welcome Justin Stout as alternate judge.
I'll second.
Let it be noted for the record that Bob made the motion to approve 3H as presented. Nancy seconded that motion. Is there any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Nancy Reinhardt.
Aye.
Bob Evans.
Aye.
Jerry Harris. Steve Lincoln. Mike Sharp.
Aye. Item I, discussion decision and/or take action on renewal of the Sprint Wireless Street Crossing Permit Contract.
Do you have it?
I don't. It's either you or Amanda.
So this is the end of a 20-year contract with Sprint. It's $600 a year for them to run their wireless lines underneath 4 streets in town. It started in 2007, so it's ending June 2027. They reached out wanting to enter into a new agreement, extending the term for 5-year increments. 5 years this time with an additional 3 5-year renewals. We have 2 options to do that. One is basically agree to a CPI or a fixed rate of 4%. Talked to Amanda and Amanda talked to Larry, I believe. The 4% rate actually works best for us over the term of the 20 years. It would have come out better in our favor if we want to go ahead and renew this, but it's not life or death either way. For us, it's $600 a year.
So it's essentially going to be a 4 or 5-year contract.
4 5-year contracts.
Automatic renewal or?
They asked for 5 right now with an additional 5-year renewals
So is
included.
this
So
the-
yeah, another 20 years at 5-year chunks. Is that right, Amanda?
Each 5-year, they still have to, like, you guys have to permit them
Okay.
to do that.
So every 5 years they come before the board.
It's a 5-year with 3 5-year options.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Now, maybe I'm a little slow. So this is for what?
Sprint wireless lines that run under the street on 4 streets. We give them permission to have those run under there.
They're almost 10 years now.
20.
20.
Nearly 20 years.
2007.
Okay.
And
That-
they
that's
pay
20
us, now it's 600 and something.
600 and change a year.
So there won't, my understanding, there will not be any new construction. It's just continues to maintain what
Right.
they have.
Right. We're just agreeing to keep it the same, but
With a 4%?
yes, in the past, we've had a CPI and it would have, Amanda researched it and it would have worked out better at a 4%. So we would ask to have it done at a 4% rate.
I'll second that.
Noted for the record that Jerry made the motion to approve item I. Do they need to mention the 4%?
It should be in the contract.
Yeah, it
shouldn't
should be.
Okay.
Just to read that.
And Bob, you seconded it, correct?
Second, yes, sir.
Let it be noted for the record that Jerry made the motion to approve 3I as presented, and Bob seconded that motion. Is there any further discussion?
No, sir.
Roll call, please.
Nancy Reinhardt.
Aye.
Jerry Harris. Steve Blankenship. Nick Schmidt.
Item J, discussion decision and take action regarding the purchase of 119 North Jackson Street, Fort Gibson, Oklahoma, at $55,000.
This was on the last meeting agenda, and Bob wasn't here, so we passed it to this meeting.
This is the property behind the B&B and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
right?
well, this is a property that fronts Jackson and fronts the property that joins it, and fronts Jackson Street. That is Willie Dawes' property. James Dawes is the administrator of Willie's estate. He approached me about and wanted to know if the city or if the town would be interested in purchasing that because he knew the town purchased the property that adjoins this. And that's the reason it's on the agenda.
Is this an
We'll have to have it appraised. You know, that's the price that Mr. Laws is.
If we ever approve it, then it goes into the appraisal phase.
Right, right. The same way we did boat rights, and I think boat rights maybe appraised for a little more than what we gave for it. I don't remember. But, yeah, we would, I think the town's gonna have to get it appraised. If it doesn't appraise for 55, which I, I think it will, but if it doesn't, then we can negotiate with Mr. Wilson.
So be careful how you make your motion on this.
You want me to make it?
Yeah, I want you to make it.
Okay, I make a motion to approve J, uh, subject to the property appraising for 55,000. If it doesn't, then we renegotiate the price with Mr. Dawes.
I'll second that.
Let it be noted for the record that Stephen made the motion to approve 3J as presented for it to be evaluated as far as the price goes, and if not meet that price, then we can renegotiate it. Bob seconded that motion. Any further discussion?
I would like to point out that in that account, we only have 25,000,
That's not good.
not 55. So if the board decides to purchase this, we'll have to somewhere else,
Okay.
where to get it.
We've always had the
Is
town
that
administrator
okay?
make up that difference.
I don't think you
Who's
heard
gonna
me.
make it up?
I don't think
Can't say-
town
yeah, I'm not
administrator.
pitching in. Sorry, I'm not
The new
pitching in.
guy gets to make up the difference. That's the way it goes.
Okay, so we need to ask our accounting people out here.
What account can,
Yeah, so
Where are we gonna get it?
So here's our conversation out there, so we can do this can be done? I understand,
It's
but
there
it
though,
can be
right?
done?
is there 30,000 somewhere that we can rightfully?
Fine.
Something to chew on.
Yeah, but we do have the money. It's, would have to be moved from,
Point A to point B.
yeah. Okay. Just, yeah,
All right.
okay. We'll cross that bridge when we get there.
So the motion is good as Stephen
Yes.
presented. Okay, and Bob seconded that motion. Any further discussion? Nobody else? Roll call, please.
Nancy Reinhardt,
Aye.
Bob Boatman,
Aye.
Jerry
Aye. Item number 4, ordinance. Ordinance 2026-010, an ordinance of the Board of Trustees for the Town of Fort Gibson amending Title III, Administration, Chapter 32, Finance and Taxation, Section 32.002, Purchases and Contracts. Do I need to read this here?
So, Angie actually caught this in our ordinances, and we have a piece, the administrator is, agreed to spend up to 30,000, and we still had it in our goal of 10,000. And so when audit's coming, we need to make sure that everything is streamlined and appropriate.
So this is something that we've approved already, it just wasn't changed in the
We
ordinance,
did
is
it
that
through a
correct?
resolution, and, which was fine, we just, it into.
It didn't do
it
the,
did- yeah,
the ordinance didn't
wasn't
change.
applicable either.
Wow. Okay.
And I have the resolution of when it was passed, if you guys need that as well, but I can send it to you in the packets.
Larry, before we vote on, I mean, make a motion on this, that it needs to be declared an emergency, correct, first? Because it says right there.
Yeah, it's got that
Declared
language
as
in
an
there.
emergency and effective.
I'm missing it.
It says on the ordinance itself.
Oh, I don't have the okay,
Yeah,
okay.
right there.
Yeah, you need to vote on the emergency and state why it's an emergency. And then we'll vote on the ordinance.
The why is so it's effective immediately, is that?
Well, it'll be effective immediately if we declare an emergency. I think what the emergency is we've been going on so long that
Okay.
our books are not,
Okay.
matching.
So we passed it by resolution.
And it's been some, maybe before you even got on.
I think it was. In fact, I think it was way
Okay.
before Stephen got on.
Yeah.
Last year sometime, maybe? Okay. Okay, we need a motion concerning declaring an emergency.
I'll make a motion on, for the ordinance, as stated by the mayor. I'll make a motion to approve that and declare it an emergency since it was passed by the resolution and did not get changed.
Second to motion.
Now, this motion is just declaring an emergency. Then we need another motion to approve the ordinance.
Okay,
correct?
let's vote on this one first.
Okay. All right. And Jerry second. All right. Stephen made the motion to declare this ordinance an emergency. And Jerry seconded that motion. Roll call, please.
Nancy Bernhardt,
Aye.
Paul Boatman,
Aye.
Jerry Harris,
Aye.
Steve Clayton.
Aye.
Mike Sharp.
Aye. All right. Now we need a motion for the ordinance, correct?
I'll make a motion, we approve, item 4, the ordinance, as submitted.
I'll second that.
Let it be noted for the record, Stephen made the motion to approve the ordinance as presented. And Bob seconded that motion. Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Nancy Bernhardt.
Aye.
Paul Boatman.
Aye.
Jerry Harris, Steve Clayton.
Aye.
Mike Sharp.
Aye. Item 5, executive session. A, discuss, consider, and/or take action regarding the employment of Jeff Skaggs pursuant to Title 25 OS, Section 307B1.
I'll make a motion, we go to executive session at 7:02.
I'll second it.
Let it be noted for the record, Bob made the motion to go to executive session at 7:02. Nancy seconded that motion. Roll call, please.
Nancy Reinhardt.
Aye.
Paul Boatman.
Aye.
Jerry Harris. Steve Clayton.
Aye.
Mike Sharp.
Aye. Ooh, please, we got through that one. Oh, come on. Oh, my goodness. Oh, 7:20. Is there a motion to return from executive session?
I'll make a motion to return at 7:23.
Be noted for the record, Nancy made a motion to return from executive session at 7:23. Jerry seconded that motion. Roll call, please.
Nancy Reinhardt.
Here.
Paul Boatman.
Here.
Jerry Harris. Steve Clayton.
Here.
Mike Sharp.
Here. I'm gonna read this. Item A, discuss, consider, and/or take action regarding employment of Jeff Skaggs pursuant to Title Title OS, Section 307B1. Now, do we have a motion concerning this?
I'll make a motion, that we approve 6A, to, include, in addition to Jeff's compensation package, that we add, 3 weeks of sick leave.
I'll second it.
Let it be noted for the record that Stephen made the motion to approve giving Jeff a 3 weeks, banking 3 weeks sick leave. Nancy seconded that motion. Roll call, please.
Nancy Reinhardt.
Aye.
Bob Boatman.
Aye.
Jerry Harris. Steve Lincoln.
Aye.
Mike Sharp.
Aye. Item number 7, Administrator's Report.
Okay, that's me. The only thing I have to report right now is that we did have a kickoff meeting for the extension of the trail and or the sidewalk going from Wiley and Poplar around down to Ross, down to Connect. So we had the kickoff meeting. Don't hold your breath, it'll be a little while.
We've been.
But we've
We know
started
it.
the process,
We know it's a process.
and I'll have monthly meetings.
Is that on the north and the
South side,
South side of Poplar.
hug
South
the
side of
inside
Poplar.
all the way, if that makes any sense.
South
Yeah.
side of Poplar and which side
It
of
joins
Ross?
up to Wiley.
Yeah.
and comes to town and goes down.
Comes
Across the
to
street
Ross.
from you.
And goes down to Ross, and so which, we know it's on the south side of Poplar coming west.
East side of
It's on
Ross.
the east side.
East side of Ross?
Not your side.
Okay, so that doesn't make sense, because the sidewalk, once you cross Walnut,
Goes
is on the
other
west side of the street.
Exactly.
There's a crosswalk right there.
Oh, yeah, they're gonna put a new bridge going across.
Bridge goes across on the east side,
Wow.
connect back to the walking trail, goes back to the east.
But
Keep it on that
Wow.
side.
you're talking Walnut is where you're talking that
Wait.
it goes on over to the west side.
There is a, you're right.
There's a sidewalk
There is a
Once,
sidewalk
yeah, once it's,
on the west side of Walnut,
Yeah.
right.
Yes.
on that side of, yeah, going south off Walnut and on Ross. The sidewalk is on the west side of the street. But this one's gonna come down the east side?
And there's gonna be a bridge over,
And they'll add a
It's
bridge.
gonna go down
a walking bridge.
Cougar Creek and tie back into the trail that they just put in. Was it a couple years ago?
Yeah.
Down on the south end of exit cross? It's where they stopped.
Okay,
They're gonna make that one big loop.
okay. So we'll have two sidewalks from Walnut to the school, east side. Okay, cool.
Cool.
Congratulations.
Fantastic. Good news. That's it?
That's all I have.
Wow. Item number 8, any new business? I'm assuming no. Item number 9, remarks from governing officials.
I just got a question that I've had people ask me, I know nothing about. In front of the apartments that are on the north side of the road from Wiley and Poplar there, what is all that water? It's been there for years and years and years and years.
It's a seep out of that hill.
pond.
Oh, excuse me,
Yeah, it was
fishing pond.
a pond big there was covered over years and years ago.
No,
it's been-
no, I'm just kidding. That's
No,
not
but
a
there
pond.
was a pond
No,
covered
no,
over.
not where she's
Is it
talking.
illegal?
I know,
Is
she's
it
talking, I used to live at those.
illegal?
I've always
think
been
there was a
told that
pond
was a
there.
big
Yeah,
seep.
Oh,
pond
you're
was a parking
serious,
lot
it's
by
really a
Lake
pond.
Bear.
No, it's a seepage.
Oh, yeah,
on
but
that
she's
hill
talking
there.
about-
I know where.
Just
it is. I
natural
used to live
drainage.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah.
Well, how does it natural drain when
Shouldn't have
there's
been
a
ever-
burn ban on?
Probably hadn't,
Because it's always
should
wet,
never been
It's
built
always
there, probably.
probably.
But that whole thing
for
down
every-
through there,
Okay.
all those
Always
addition,
wet.
everything,
Nancy?
it all seeps
We
out
need
of
to
the
move
hill.
on.
Yeah, we need to move on.
Yep.
Okay.
We can't really discuss and make decisions on items that's not on the agenda. Is there a motion for adjournment?
I'll make a motion to adjourn at 7:28.
It'll be noted for the record, Nancy made the motion to adjourn at 7:28. It's seconded by Jerry. All in favor, raise your hand. Everybody raise their hand. Let it be noted. Everybody raise their hand. This meeting is now adjourned. Okay, we're gonna take a very short break. I know, I used to
Yeah,
live
I
in
do.
Farmington House. It's- it's been wet for, I don't remember a time when it was
I think
dry.
there's a spring there.
Even when
Because
August,
see,
even
they,
in August, it's not
they
dry.
tested the water for chlorine.
Yeah.
It's not citywide.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It's wet in August.
It's wet all the time.
Yeah. I mean, it's nasty looking.
No, it's horrible.
Yeah.
But
I
what
don't
do you
know
get
there's
to
anything to do
growing?
about
Yeah,
it.
what do you get to growing?
No grass will grow.
No, it's too wet.
Yeah.
it's still brown.
Yeah,
There's
no, it
no-
looks
there's
awful.
no
And
green
Brandon
grass there.
Fouch
Yes,
owns those
and it's a lot,
apartments.
even
He's
in
tried to do
Birmingham,
everything.
it's
Yeah,
dry.
I don't
So
fault
if it's
him, it just is
draining,
what it is.
I
Yeah,
understand
that's
during,
exactly.
I get
But-
all the water from.
I think
Now,
there's a
I wasn't
sprinkler.
living in town, I've lived in town
I
for
get all
40
the
years.
drainage, like I never
But
took the water.
I've
out.
see,
been
there
told
was-
that
But
parking lot
when
in
it
front of
gets dry,
Legendary,
Oh,
it's
it's
used to
raining.
be a pond.
Oh, yeah, I was a kid. I grew up there.
That's a shame.
Always wanted to.
Yeah.
You said that. I'm
Yeah,
like,
it's a big,
today I
and
went by there.
we used to
I
catch
imagine-
bass out there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hey,
now,
that's
I-
such a
I've
sign
had
of
people
progress,
ask me,
man.
why
That's such a
is,
shame.
why,
Sign of
and I'm
progress.
like,
Sorry,
I've heard that
pond-
myself.
It's a
I'm
sorry
fast,
parking
I don't
The
know why.
pond actually
Somewhere they
set
could put a
where,
pipe and
Do a
the
French
drain it
drain
further.
or
center
something,
is.
yeah.
Oh, really?
do
Set on this end.
something.
because
Yeah.
it is ugly.
Yeah,
It's
it's,
been
Yeah.
that way
That
for
parking lot
years.
needs some major work.
It's always been a problem.
I know.
It's always.
And they can't even
Wasn't
mow
put in
like,
right.
Not
it's
the
so
most
wet, they
stable
can't mow
No.
because the
area
grass
to be
No.
goes up
doing
through it in
something.
the
Yeah.
summer.
It's
It's
that
gonna
one.
be
Well, this one should be short.
That
This
one
one's real
section.
Yeah, it's only got two
Is
items.
that where we're gonna do
Actually,
it?
only one
Only
item.
one item.
The other
Yeah,
one's not.
It
but
is
no,
gonna
it's
be on the other
So
side.
that should
But
be
it's too
short.
nasty.
So what do you think about the speed bumps
Surely
up
there's
front
gotta
of
be
your
a way
house?
to do
Man,
something.
Stephen,
You could bring in some
okay.
dirt and fill
Build
it
it
up.
I understand what-
a little bit.
Well, you know what they do in those big
Okay.
fancy additions
But
in
here was my opinion.
Owasso?
From First Walnut,
They
'cause
limestone
I
rock
was
it, and those big
a
old rocks.
You know,
player and
that
getting
looked better.
a woman. That was years and years
'Cause that's
ago.
gotta
Or you
be-
could
We've been there
native
for a long
rock.
time.
Yeah.
That's gotta be
And-
tags.
We have more
Up
kids on
there in
Walnut now.
Owasso,
Oh, yeah.
in one whole edition
Yeah.
is like that, they have those drainage
And
issues.
My,
And
my
cousin
statement,
lives
I'm
in
gonna
it,
statement
And
for,
that's part of their covenant is you have
well,
to rock
take her,
that.
one
Makes it
child,
look
one kid.
better.
It's
Right.
been
And
that
you
way
can
for
gripe about
years.
the
Yes.
parents
And I've
not
always
parenting
wondered,
the children.
That's
why
right.
does that not
But you have no
dry up?
control of it.
Mhm.
I used to
And
play in
even
the
in the
streets
summertime,
sometimes.
I did too.
if it's
I mean,
real hot,
now I got in
I mean,
trouble when I got
it was a
caught.
dirt road,
Yeah.
but
I
it's
got
street.
caught
There's
when I
There's
got
some,
grass.
yeah,
trouble.
there's something
But
there.
I used to.
Yeah.
You don't
Yeah.
think about that
Well-
stuff when you're a kid.
maybe we can get
Where'd
some
Bob go?
rocks there.
I think he went to the bathroom too, maybe. Our lawyer needs to get back in his seat.
No, we're still waiting on Mr. Boat.
Mr. Boat, there he comes.
Here he comes.
Well, this is real short.
But
Yeah.
anyway, my opinion about it is, I think the speed bumps necessary.
Yeah.
That's my opinion. But they're, they don't stop people from speeding if they want to. All right, we all ready? All right, I'd like to call the order of the regular meeting of the Utilities Authority Board of Trustees on the town of Fort Gibson, Monday, April 13th, 2026 at 7:32 PM. Roll call, please.
Nancy Reinhardt,
Here,
Bob Boatman,
Here.
Jerry Harris.
Here.
Steve Blankenberg.
Here.
Mike Sharp.
Here. Item number 1, visitors' remarks or comments. Seeing none, we're gonna move to item number 2, consent agenda.
I'll make a motion, we approve that consent agenda as presented.
Let it be noted for record that Bob made a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented. Jerry seconded that motion. Roll call, please.
Nancy Reinhardt,
aye.
Bob Boatman,
Aye.
Jerry Harris. Steve Blankenberg.
Aye.
Mike Sharp.
Aye. Item number 3, items of business for discussion, decision, and/or take action. Item A, discussion, decision, and/or take action regarding items removed from the consent agenda. There were none. Item B, discussion, decision, and/or take action regarding open PO 26-12427 for Harks in the amount of $500.
So this is just an PO that works. It's just,
Kind of like a credit account.
it's not gonna.
Jerry. 3B is presented. Nancy seconded that motion. Is there any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Nancy Reinhardt, Bob Boatman,
Aye.
Jerry Harris. Steve Blankenberg.
Aye.
Mike Sharp.
Aye. Item number 4, administrators report.
I have nothing to report. Not in,
Dang,
No news is good news.
I guess, yeah. Item number 5, new business. Okay, item number 6, remarks from governing officials. Item number 7, is there a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn at 7:34.
Let it be noted for the record that Nancy made the motion to adjourn at 7:34. Jerry made, second that motion. All in favor, raise your hand. Let it be noted for the record that this meeting is now adjourned.